All right, let's talk about something that a lot of people quietly Google at 2 a.m. with a bit of panic in their eyes. Australia visa age limit exemptions. Yeah, you know who you are. You typed that in after your 40th birthday, didn't you? Maybe thinking, is it over for me? Am I too old for Australia? Well, it's not over, and not even close, because in this video we're breaking down all the juicy details on how age limits work in Australian visas and where the magic loopholes, exemptions, come in. So, if you're 45 and thinking your Australian immigration dream is over, think again. Let's dig into it. First, the basics. What's this age limit all about? Okay, so here's the official stuff. Most skilled visas in Australia have an age limit of 45 years at the time of invitation, not at the time of applying, and not at the time you started your EOI. The clock stops ticking when you get the actual invitation to apply. That's the moment they freeze your age. So technically, you could submit an EOI at 44 years and 364 days old. And if you get the invitation the next day, boom, you're in the zone. But if they take their sweet time, and that invite comes after your 45th birthday, sorry mate, that's a no from Border Force, unless you qualify for an exemption, and that's what we're here for. Age is just a number, unless you're applying for PR. Now, I know what you're thinking, but isn't Australia all about diversity and inclusion and second chances? Sure, but they're also very serious about skills. See, the age limit isn't just random, it's tied to the points system. After 45, you don't get any age points, which means your application loses major fuel. And unless you're Elon Musking your way through life with a wild skill set, you're probably not hitting the points threshold. But some visas don't care about points, and some very cool exemptions exist for certain types of applicants. Let's dive into those. 1. Employer-sponsored visas, subclass 186 and 482. So first up, employer-sponsored visas that are like the VIP passes of Australian migration. And guess what? The age limit for the subclass 186, that's the permanent version, is still 45, but there are tasty little exemptions. You're exempt from the age limit if you're a senior academic working at a university in Australia. You're a scientist, researcher, or technical specialist employed by a government science agency. Or you're a medical professional, especially if you've worked in regional Australia for at least 2 of the past 4 years. You can be exempt if you've earned at least $175,000 per year for the past 3 years on a 482 visa, known as the high income threshold. Basically, if you're rich and skilled, age is irrelevant. You can also be exempt if you've held a subclass 482 visa and have worked for the same employer in the same occupation for at least 3 years, leading up to the application. So yes, if your boss loves you and you've stuck around long enough, they might be able to pull you over that 45-year line, like a legend dragging a friend out of quicksand. 2. State nomination and DAMA pathways. All right, now let's talk about some of the lesser-known heroes, state and regional agreements. In 2025, several states and territories are working under Designated Area Migration Agreements, DAMAs. These are regional deals that let certain areas sponsor skilled workers even if they don't meet the usual age, skill, or English requirements. So yes, under some DAMA streams, age limits can be relaxed. You still need to have relevant experience, and your employer in that area needs to sponsor you, but age flexibility is part of the package. So, if you're open to living outside Sydney or Melbourne, and you don't mind swapping high-rises for gum trees, you might have more options than you think. 3. National Innovation Visa, subclass 858. Now, this one is the celebrity visa of the bunch. You don't have to be famous, but you do need to be pretty extraordinary at what you do, and I mean globally recognized. In 2025, the National Innovation Visa is still allowing applicants over 45. But here's the catch. You need to be a serious standout. Like, we want your brain level of talent. You also need to show you're internationally recognized in your field. You'd likely earn over $175,000 per year in Australia. You're in one of the target sectors. Think tech, space, fintech, quantum, cyber, and other big brain areas. So if you've got 20 plus years of experience, awards, publications, or you're the person they call to fix stuff no one else understands, this is your golden ticket. They don't care if you're 45 or 55. They care if you're brilliant. 4. Partner visas. Love conquers age limits. Okay, I had to include this one because it's the most romantic option, as there's no age limit for a partner visa. So, if you fall in love with an Aussie, or you're married to one, you're good to go, no matter how old you are. Whether you're 25 or 65, if the relationship is genuine, long-term, and well-documented, you can apply. This is your rom-com moment, except instead of ending with a kiss, it ends with PR and Medicare. Even better. 5. Resident Return Visa. Okay, here's one that doesn't get much spotlight. The Resident Return Visa. It's not glamorous, but if you've ever been a permanent resident of Australia before, this could be your golden boomerang back in. And the best part? No age limit. Whether you left Australia 5 years ago or 25, whether you're 39 or 79, the door's technically still open as long as you tick the right boxes. So, what do you need? Proof that you've been a permanent resident or Australian citizen before. Either substantial ties to Australia, like family, business, cultural, or employment links, or you've spent at least 2 years in Australia as a PR in the last 5 years and a decent reason for being away. It's like that friend you lost touch with who suddenly messages, "Hey, still got your hoodie, want it back," except instead of a hoodie, it's your permanent residency. What can you actually do if you're over 45? Here's the deal. If you're creeping up on 45 or you're already past it, don't just panic Google and give up. Here's your new game plan. Look at employer sponsorship, have a chat with your boss, or find one in Australia who'd be willing to go the distance with you. Get assessed for national innovation, especially if you're a leader in your field. You can explore DAMA regional pathways and be strategic. Maybe apply before you hit 45, even if the process takes a while. It's not too late. People in their late 40s and early 50s have made the move to Australia. It's not easy, it's not automatic, but it's possible. The key is knowing where the age limits apply, where they don't, and which exceptions you can actually use. Do your research, get advice, and most importantly, don't assume it's over just because you blew out 45 candles. You've still got a shot. So don't throw in the towel just because of a number. Australia loves skills, experience, commitment, and yep, even older applicants when the circumstances are right. Now, if you found this helpful, give the video a like, subscribe for more Australia visa tips, and drop a comment below, especially if you've got questions about your own situation. See you in the next one, and remember, age is just a number unless you're in Skill Select. Then it's a whole spreadsheet.